All right, this is chapter 1, lesson 4. All right, so the first question is on 1C. It says, which segment in the figure is the largest slope, has the largest slope, the largest absolute value? So it's negative or positive, but the greatest amount. Okay, so the largest slope was C, the smallest is B. Now it's gonna be one of those for C. So which one is a larger number, positive or negative? We're taking the absolute value. And it looks to me like B is steeper. The steeper the line, the larger the slope, the absolute value, okay? So it's B. I don't know if that helps, but it is B. Number 3. Find the slope and y-intercept of the line whose equation is given. So number 3. 2x minus y plus 5 equals 0. All right, the easiest way to find this is to put that in y equals mx plus b. That value is your slope. That value is your y-intercept. Okay, I'm just going to add y to both sides. So we have y equals 2x plus 5. My slope is 2. My y-intercept is 5. Okay, so really my y-intercept is when x is 0, 5. So in your college classes, you would have to put that as a coordinate point. All right? So that's number 3. Number 11. Says find a number t such that the slope, okay, so it tells me the value that they want the slope to be. All right, so the change in y of the change in x has to equal -2. I gotta make sure I'm doing the right one. All right, so I'm just gonna do the change in x, y. That's 4 minus t over 9 minus 0 has to equal -2. I'm solving for t. So that's the denominator is just 9, right? 4 minus t over 9 is -2. I multiply by 9 to get rid of the 9. I have 4 minus t is -18. I'm going to subtract 4 both sides. I have -t is -22, but I don't want the opposite of t. I want t. T is 22. So that's the value of t to make the slope equal to -2. Sounds like an ACT question. Okay, that's the same with 13. Just feels a little more difficult. We want the slope to equal -2. All right, look at my y values. I'm going to take -3t plus 7, that y value, and subtract 5. So then I take 6 and I subtract t plus 1. Remembering that that negative is distributed to both of the terms. All right, so let's simplify. That's -3t, positive 7 minus 5 is plus 2. That's 6 minus 1, which is positive 5, and that's -t, equals -2. All right, I'm going to eliminate the denominator. I'm going to multiply both sides by -t plus 5, -t plus 5. My denominator eliminates. I'm left with -3t plus 2 equals 2t minus 10. I'm going to move my t's to the right, so I'm adding 3t, and I'm going to add 10 to both sides, so that I have 12 equals 5t. T is 12/5. All right, that's 13. Look at 15. Let L be a non-vertical straight line through the origin. So 1 point on L goes through the origin. The origin coordinate point is 0, 0. I know that point lies on the line. L intersects a vertical line through 1, 0. That's another coordinate point. Show that this coordinate point is actually the slope. The slope is 1. All right. So it's a change in y. The slope is, all right. So it's a change in y. 0 minus 0. 0. Look, I'm writing 1. 0 minus 0 over the change in x. 1 minus 0. It's 0 over 1, which is 0. That is your slope. It's that y value. Okay? All right. What's 23? 23 says wait, I gotta go back. We don't know that this is the value, do we? Actually, the value is 1 and some c. It just, we know it goes through 1, 0. So we know the line somehow goes this way. We know this is a vertical line. It goes through 1. So we know the x value is 1. The y value is c. That is going to be our slope. All right? So I have to go back. I'm going back. We just labeled it C. C is the 1 for a constant, right? So, of course, if it would have gone through 0, 0, that would have been our slope. It's always the y value. So C minus 0. That's really C over 1. It's C. All right, I backtrack. I just gave it 0. It's always your y value when it goes through the origin. And this is 1. Any vertical line, actually. It doesn't matter. Any vertical line. It would always be the y value. All right, what number was that? 15. Now we're on 23. Okay, find the equation. Find the equation of a line through these points. This is 23. All right, so we have 4 thirds and we have 2 thirds. And then we have 1 third and we have 3. All right, we've got to find the slope first. So the slope is the change in y. 3 minus 2 thirds. I'm going to multiply that by 3 over 3 so I have a common denominator. Over the change in x. 1 third minus 4 thirds. That's going to be 9 thirds. 9 thirds minus 2, that's 9 minus 2, that's 7 thirds. This is going to be negative 3 thirds. Remember in algebra 1? So it's negative 7 thirds. That's my slope. I'm going to use the point slope formula. So it's going to be, I'm going to use this one. Y minus 2 thirds equals the slope, negative 7 thirds times x minus the x value, 4 thirds. All right, so I have y minus, Paula, not equals, minus 2 thirds. I'm going to distribute the negative 7 thirds. Negative 7 thirds x minus plus, because negative times negative, that's 28 ninths. I need this to be 3 over 3 to combine these. So it's going to be negative 6 thirds. So I'm going to add, 6 ninths. I'm going to add 6 ninths to both sides. So y equals negative 7 thirds x plus 34 ninths. I wonder if they gave it to you. What number is this? Number 23? Nope. That's how they gave it to you. If it would have been in standard form, I'd have multiplied every term by 9 to eliminate the denominators. All right, so that was number 23. Moving right along to 27. It wants to know, determine whether the line through PQ, so we've got a line through PQ and we've got a line through RS. So we've got a line through PQ and a line through RS. I want to know, are they perpendicular or parallel or neither? So I've got to look at their slopes. On 27. Okay, so P is -3 1/3. Q is 1. I keep forgetting what number I'm on. I'm going to write it up here. 27. -3 1/3. 1 -1. Here's R. 2 0 4 -2/3. All right. I'm going to find the slope. The slope is -1, which is really 3 over 3, right? Minus 1/3 over 1 minus -3. All right, so that's -4/3 over 4. I rationalize by multiplying by 1/4 over 1/4 to eliminate that. My 4's eliminate. So the slope is -1/3 for PQ. Now I need the slope for S. I'm going to start with this one, RS. So that's -2/3 minus 0. That was pretty easy. In the denominator, 4 minus 2. So that's -2/3 over 2. I multiply by 1/2 over 1/2. That eliminates. Is that negative? It's the same slope. They are parallel. The lines are parallel. All right, you had to remember your algebra. Remember I told y'all were going to struggle with remembering your algebra? We have arrived. All right, 33. Number 33. Remember, if you're struggling, pause. You can look at the video, write the work down, see where you went wrong. Number 33. Use slopes to determine if those are vertices of a right triangle. So one of those vertexes has to be perpendicular. All right, so we'll label them. Let's say A is 9, 6, B, -1, 2, C is 1, -3. So either AB has to be perpendicular, BC has to be perpendicular, or AC has to be perpendicular. So their slopes with the negative inverse. All right, so we'll look at AB. All right, so 6 minus 2 over 9 minus -1. So that's what? 4/10. All right, now we'll look at BC. All right, BC is 2 minus -3, which is +3 over -1 minus 1. That is what? 5 over -2. All right, that's 2/5, right? That's the negative inverse. So it is a right triangle. 33 is a right triangle. I didn't even have to look at AC. All right. I could have looked at AC. It doesn't matter. It's not going to be perpendicular. You can only have one right angle. All right, moving on to 41. Let me see. Find an equation for the line that satisfies the given conditions. All right, let's see what is given for 41. Okay, here's a point on the line, -1, 3. And it's perpendicular to a line that goes through these 2 points. So I'm going to find the slope of this line. Then I'm going to use a point slope formula. All All right, so it's 3 minus 1 over 2 minus 0. 2 over 2, it's 1. It's really 1 over 1, so it's negative 1 over 1. It's just negative 1. All right, so we have y minus 3 equals negative 1 times x minus negative 1 or plus 1. All right, I'm going to take a sip of water. Wet my throat. Y minus 3 equals negative x minus 1. I'm going to add my 3. So y equals negative x plus 2. That's the equation for number 41. Number 45, it looks like we have an arithmetic series, right? But we can calculate the slope. U sub 1 is negative 2. U sub 2 is 2. U sub 3 is 6. U sub 4 is 10. I can tell my difference already. To get from negative 2 to positive 2, I'm adding 4. To get to 6, I'm adding 4. To get to 10, I'm adding 4. So my difference, I'm adding 4. That's my slope, right? Slope. All right, so I'm going to write it. U sub n equals the first term, negative 2, plus the difference, 4 times n minus 1. I'm going to use my explicit formula because when I multiply it through, it will look like slope-intercept. So U sub n is negative 2 plus 4n minus 4. Combining my 4 and my negative 2 and negative 4, I have U sub n equals 4n minus 6. It's the same thing as y equals 4x minus 6. I just use my explicit form. I know my difference is my slope if it's arithmetic. And I could have figured out where my y-intercept is. That would be U sub 0. I would subtract 4, and it makes sense. And that was 45.